Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Hey everyone, we've got an interesting insight into Adrian Newey's arrival at Aston Martin and a special adjustment made by the team to accommodate his work style at the start of this new chapter. As many of you may already know, as of today, March 3rd, Adrian Newey is officially the lead designer at Aston Martin. After an incredibly successful run at Red Bull, he has now shifted his focus to developing the best possible car for the 2026 season. However, one particularly intriguing detail about his transition to Aston Martin has emerged: a personal request made by Newey himself regarding his work routine. According to sources, Newey specifically asked the team to arrange a sleeping area within Aston Martin's factory. The reason behind this unusual request: he often works late into the night, staying fully immersed in the design process and refining technical details. Rather than returning home at odd hours, he prefers to rest at the factory so he can resume his work first thing in the morning without losing momentum. Newey is known for his relentless dedication to car development, and this move perfectly reflects his obsessive attention to detail. His ability to conceptualize and refine aerodynamic designs has been a key factor in his success across multiple championship-winning cars. Recognizing his work ethic, Aston Martin has fully accommodated his request, ensuring he has a private space to sleep inside the facility. This information, reported by Sky Sports, highlights just how seriously Aston Martin is taking Newey's arrival. But that's not the only strategic move the team has made to optimize his transition. In addition to providing on-site living arrangements, Aston Martin has also adjusted its wind tunnel usage for the first 2 months of the year. From January to February, the team deliberately limited wind tunnel testing, reserving as much allocated time as possible for Newey's input. This is a significant decision, as wind tunnel hours are strictly regulated in Formula One. Teams have a set limit on the number of hours they can use for aerodynamic testing, and exceeding this allocation would violate FIA regulations. By holding back on early testing, Aston Martin ensured that Newey has maximum resources available to shape the development of their 2026 car. This decision underscores the long-term commitment Aston Martin has made to maximize Newey's impact. While the 2025 season is already set in motion, the team is playing the long game, focusing on ensuring that Newey has complete creative control over the next generation of their F1 car. Newey's influence on Formula One car design is legendary, and this move could be a game-changer for Aston Martin. However, the real question remains: how long will it take before his expertise translates into race-winning performance? Developing a dominant Formula One car is a complex and time-consuming process, and while Newey's genius is undeniable, it may take several seasons before Aston Martin truly reaps the benefits of his work. That said, his arrival is a massive statement of intent, proving that Aston Martin is serious about becoming a championship contender in the coming years. Now, what do you think? Are you excited about Adrian Newey joining Aston Martin? Do you believe his impact will be immediate, or will it take some time before we see the results on the track? Share your thoughts. We have exciting updates from the Formula One market, particularly involving Aston Martin and Ferrari. Before diving into the details, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates. If you enjoy this content, don't forget to leave a like to support our work. Aston Martin has been aggressively strengthening its technical team, bringing in high-profile hires from rival teams. Today marks a significant milestone, as Adrian Newey officially begins his work as the team's lead designer. However, he's not the only major signing Aston Martin has made recently. The team has also secured Ferrari's Enrico Cardiel, who is set to take on the role of technical director alongside Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. But things are not as simple as they seem. According to the Italian newspaper Corriere dello Sport, Ferrari is making it difficult for Aston Martin to bring Cardiel in immediately. Despite initial contact between the teams, Ferrari is firmly enforcing a contractual clause that requires Cardiel to observe a mandatory 12-month gardening leave before starting at Aston Martin. Under this restriction, he wouldn't be allowed to assume his new role before July 17th of this year. Aston Martin, however, is determined to accelerate the process. Reports suggest that the team is even involving legal experts to challenge Ferrari's stance and secure an earlier release for car deal. The reason behind this urgency is clear. Aston Martin wants him to start working immediately on the development of the 2026 car, collaborating with Adrian Newey to shape the team's next-generation F1 challenger. The hiring battle between Aston Martin and Ferrari is just the latest in a growing trend of high-profile technical staff moves across the grid. Over the past few years, teams have intensified their recruitment strategies, targeting top engineers and aerodynamicists from competitors in a bid to close the performance gap. Aston Martin, in particular, has been aggressively investing in personnel and facilities, signaling its intent to become a true title contender in the coming seasons. However, the legal battle over car deals contract highlights how teams are fiercely protecting their intellectual property. A 12-month gardening leave is a common strategy used in F1 to prevent technical secrets from immediately benefiting a rival. If Ferrari holds its ground, Aston Martin will be forced to wait until mid-July before car deal can officially contribute to the team's car development program. That delay could be crucial, as Formula One's 2026 regulations will introduce major changes to both aerodynamics and power units. Every team is working tirelessly to get ahead, and having the right people in place early could make a significant difference when the new rules come into effect. While the technical department is undergoing a transformation, one lingering question remains. Could Aston Martin's renewal extend beyond its engineering staff and also affect its driver lineup? With Fernando Alonso's contract nearing its final stages, speculation continues over whether he will extend his stay or if the team will seek a younger driver to lead its future projects. Lance Stroll's seat, while seemingly secure due to his father's ownership of the team, has also been the subject of debate, especially as Aston Martin pushes toward becoming a championship-caliber team. The situation around car deal's contract dispute is far from over, and more developments behind the scenes are expected in the coming weeks. The battle for top personnel is intensifying, and teams are doing everything they can to protect their competitive edge as the sport heads into a new era of regulations. The 2025 Formula One season is right around the corner, and soon we'll see the cars back on track. After the preseason testing, one of the biggest talking points is what's happening with Red Bull. Unlike previous years, the team did not present an overwhelmingly dominant car, at least not at the same level as in past seasons. However, while the car isn't a complete disappointment, it still has issues to be addressed before the first race of the year. Red Bull's situation is particularly critical, as it could play a major role in Max Verstappen's future. If the team fails to deliver a competitive car, Verstappen may seriously consider leaving Red Bull. The engineering team now faces the challenge of proving that they can build a championship-winning car for the coming years, without Adrian Newey, who has now moved to Aston Martin. Following the conclusion of preseason testing last week, Verstappen made his first public comments about his impressions of the car over the 3 days of running. Here's what he had to say. "It can't be worse than last year. I think the direction we're working in is good. We just need to stick to it and see how much we can extract. Right now, it's still early. There are a lot of things we're still discussing and want to improve, but I like the car. And that, already, is a big difference compared to last year." His words suggest that while the new Red Bull car is not yet perfect, it is already a step ahead of last year's model, which caused several headaches for the team despite their successful campaign. However, the fact that Verstappen is still cautious about the car's performance indicates that there is a lot of work to be done before the team can confidently challenge for another title. Red Bull's dominance in recent seasons has largely depended on Newey's aerodynamic expertise, and his departure has left a void that the team must fill quickly if they want to maintain their competitive edge. Another major factor is the growing strength of rival teams. Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, and even Aston Martin have all made significant improvements, and the gap at the top of the grid is expected to be much smaller this season. If Red Bull struggles with consistency, they could find themselves in a much tighter battle for podiums, rather than dominating races as they did in previous years. The uncertainty surrounding Red Bull's true performance level makes this one of the most intriguing storylines heading into the 2025 season. If early race results fail to meet expectations, speculation about Verstappen's future will only intensify. While he is contracted long-term with Red Bull, It is no secret that other teams, especially Mercedes, are keeping a close eye on his situation. As we approach the first race of the season, one key question remains. Will Red Bull deliver a car capable of defending its dominance? Or will Verstappen find himself fighting just to stay in podium contention? What do you think? Will Red Bull build a title-worthy car, or are they in for a season of struggles? Share your predictions.